Hello. So I'm just going to make a quick start on the loaded tag Plaid pumpkins. I've printed off 3 of the sheets. I didn't think I needed the 4th. So the first one is the base. So it's this one. This piece is going to fold up under. And then I've got the 2 little side pockets here to overlap on the front, and then I've got a sheet of just various ephemera. I'm going to back these are actually on 200 GSM paper, so they're fairly stiff as they are. I'm still deciding if I'm going to back this with the orange. Actually, I think that might be quite good. And then these ones, I think I might just back them with a bit of craft paper on the back. So with that, I'm going to head off. I'm going to print my orange on the back of there, and then I'm going to do some cutting. I'm at home with the flu today, which means I can just do a little bit of extra things. I managed to finish this, getting this kit together today and got it loaded up on Etsy. So it's there ready for you to purchase now. And I thought I'd just take the time, I've got it, just to run through putting it together with you. Alrighty, I'm going to go do some more printing and some more cutting, and I'll see you back here. Alrighty, welcome back. So I have my pieces cut out. These ones I've scored as well, ready to be glued up. So let's get them going. First step is this one comes up here. So I'm just going to run some glue. I haven't used my glue for a little while. Hopefully it's still coming out of where it should come out of and hasn't all gummed up. Looks like we're getting glue out. Alright, so I've been at home sick the last day or two. Haven't felt like shooting any more video, but feeling kind of better today, so that's good. There's lots going round. My lovely kids bring me home germy presents from school. So, alright, that's good. We've got that one there. Now, which way around do I want to go? That's how I want it. Okay. So this one first. Bend that up. So I want my glue on this surface here. There we go. Got glue on it? Oh yeah, it does too. Awesome. That one there. And same with the other side. I always think being sick is kind of sucks, but it also gives you a bit of time to reset on some levels. Just kind of look at it like a bit of a blessing in disguise. All right, here we go. That's my 2 sides down. Next one's this one. Fold everything in and more glue. So there's just a lot of gluing right now, but that's okay. It's kind of cool to see it all come together. All right. Okay. Make sure we're all lined up. Give it a bit of a push just to make sure it's all making contact. I love the tones of this one. They're so autumn, and they are Halloween, but they're not kind of in your face, which is kind of good. It's a little bit kind of understated, which I like. Okay, so we are coming together. Now, one thing I didn't do, which I'm now realising that might have been a good idea, is a bit of inking around those edges. Bit late now. I think they still look all right. I might ink the edge of the whole thing though when I'm finished, and just to sort of finish it off. I also have changed the paper I'm using. I was using one that was a little bit glossier, and I thought I'd swap things up and go for something a little bit more matte, which is good, but I think the paper doesn't have the same kind of coating on it. I mean, if anybody knows, do let me know if I'm barking up the wrong tree or not, but I think it doesn't have the same kind of coating on it. So when I scored it, I actually went a little bit deep on the sides here. So you can see I've got white edges there, but I'm going to go over those with a little bit of glue just so that it doesn't pull apart anymore. And then I'll do some fairly heavy inking, and you won't even see that. So there's my little pocket ready to go. I'm going to just let that dry before I start putting things in. I don't want things to start peeling up and off it, but that's come out really nicely and cute. The other thing is there were lots of bits of ephemera to choose from. I cut up everything that was in on the same page as these two, so there's quite a bit, and I put the cross hatching orange on the back too, which is kind of just a nice foil to the rest because everything else is actually quite detailed. So it's kind of nice to put in things that are have a little bit less of that detail to them. Just sort of turn them over. It's kind of fun just to stuff it and see how we go. So I'm kind of thinking I might add some things to these that are going to just maybe add a bit of depth to them. These cards are just so stinking cute. Look at those. Again, I haven't inked any of this. I might go back through and ink afterwards. I just want to have a look and see what it's going to look like. No, I like those little witchy girls. I'll put my little pumpkins behind so I can see them. And I did have, oh, here we go. Cover up faces. There we go. So that's looking really cute. I do have some fussy cuts, and I've got some old Daggy Craft. Now these I didn't do the cross hatch on the back. So what I'm going to do with these is just this daggy old pieces of craft paper, but they're kind of cool and they feel nice, a bit of texture to them, which I like. So I might just cut a bit closer to the edge. I like to do my final cut once I've got things glued together. It just makes them a little bit, I don't know. Yeah, just easier to cut it than trying to cut things twice and then glue. I tend to glue and then cut. So I've given with these guys, you can see there's a cream border on the outside of this, just to cut within that, just so you don't end up with some really sort of stark white edges, because then you do, if you want to go over them and make them less stark, you're using an awful lot of ink. So it's kind of good just to have the little bit of tinted colour there, just to take that sort of extreme white away. All right, got our little cat. Stick our little cat down. Now there were lots of these. There were like 5 pumpkins or something. I'll double check that, but I think there were 5 pumpkins. And I've only just cut out one of them. And they're so cute. Okay. And we'll do the same with this one. Glue around the edge. And stick. And I will come back when these are dry and we can cut those ones out. Get rid of my rubbish. And then I've got to decide what else I want to add to this. I think it would be nice to add some texture. So maybe some holes, maybe some ribbon. I've come across a little bit of black ribbon. What I find is when I go and buy clothes, often the clothes are hung on the coat hangers in the stores with little ribbons. And then if you cut the little ribbon off, you've got a nice little bit of ribbon to use. And that's sort of a nice way of reusing those rather than just throwing them out. Gee, that one's cute. I really like that one. The little books on it. So I'm going to go and contemplate, wait for these to dry, then we'll come back, cut these out, and just add a little bit of texture to this one and a little bit of dimension. But really happy with how it's come together so far. So welcome back. I've gone a bit crazy and pulled out a whole lot of stuff, which is kind of fun though. Here's my tag. I might just show you that first. I've gone through and stuffed it with a whole lot of things. I've changed out the main tag that I had, this one in here. I've decided to put my little witch in there instead. I am going to glue it back to back with this one just so that it's really nice and solid, and cover up all that white. So I might do that first up and we'll let that dry, then we'll have a little play with that. I also made a little hidden paper clip. This was just with the offcuts. I had a little pumpkin already, and then I had these this is the backing paper that I used for my ephemera. But it did end up with some offcuts. So I just used one of those offcuts to make this little paper clip. And it clips everything together quite nicely, which is kind of cool. I will shoot a video later on how I made that because they're really simple. Anyway, so that's that. Then I've got everything else cut out and ready to go. So where did we land? Okay, so I've got these two to cut out. I wandered off with my scissors, so I might need to pause and go and relocate them in a minute. I'll do that. And I was thinking about texture, so I pulled out a lot of stuff that is textured. I kind of had these are the, I think I mentioned, I bought a blouse and it had some black ribbon. So I've got some black ribbon pieces that I can use to add. I've got some little hangers. I found some keys. I found these little clips. I got some string. I kind of dug through and I found everything. I had my keys, which I thought were kind of cool. And I found some black lace as well. So I found some stickers. And I kind of went through the stickers and I had a big pile of them. And I kind of thought I dug out anything that was a little bit dark. Because, you know, this is spooky season. So night whispers and unavoidable pain. So there we go. So I've got some stickers. I'm not sure the colours really go. I'm going to see what I think about that a bit later. These are my extra little pieces of ephemera. Probably won't need those. So where to start with this lot, hey? I think probably the first place to start is gluing this guy together. Oh, do I want to just, I don't know, what do I do? Got choices. It's kind of cool. I could back it with the paper, and that might, because you guys know I love my texture, and I love how this sort of paper, craft paper, feels. So I could back that. I might do that instead, and then that's going to give me, and then I can use that one. I could back both of these. I could back both of these, and then I've got two. One for an extra when I do a full journal. Yeah, let's do that. I like that idea. Okay. I love reusing bits and pieces I find. I think that one of the things I like about junk journaling is the junk aspect. So I collect little bits of ribbons and strings off things, and that was off a piece of clothing, I think. What's it got? Danger, remove hanger. Yeah, that was from a piece of clothing. So it's kind of cool. I like the danger, particularly for Halloween. So I might see if I can attach that somehow. That's cool. All right. So now I've got myself in a bit of a muddle because I've got so many ideas going through my head all at the same time, which is a bit much. I also found these stick-on wax seals. So they're kind of cool, and the colours go. So I might use that somewhere around here as well. So what I might do is I loaded this tag up. I might unload it and kind of show you. I did ink it over. So it's all inked. Remember how I told you about the edges? I wasn't real happy with them. I'm going to have another go. I've still got some white showing, but the edges are all dark. And then I did manage to get a bit of ink on there as well. So that's kind of looking done-ish, apart from those little white bits. And then I've got my cards. I was going to ink these. I might do that on camera. Let me grab my inking equipment, and we shall do a bit of that while we're here. Right. Just while I sort of decide on the next thing to do, just a bit of black. Covering up the white edges. This art paper has quite sort of white edges, which can look a bit stark. So we'll just dull everything down a little bit. I don't need too much. On the edge of these cards, I tend to sort of build a little bit of inky sort of look to it in the design. So you don't really need to go to town with it, but it is kind of good just to do the edges, and obviously the backing hasn't got the ink, so we'll just go over everything really quickly and then move on to the next thing. So what am I going to need that I haven't got here? I said I wanted off with the scissors. I need to go and get them. Then I can start cutting and pasting. I can paste that card down before I have to do that though, so we might do that. Just a little run through, inking these little tickets. I'm not being overly thorough, as you can tell, just distressing them a little bit. These I might spend a bit more time on the back. I've got a bit extra here that I'm going to use in the hidden paper clip. We'll do that as well. And I was thinking the black lace, there's a couple of ways I could use that black lace. I can either stick it onto something, or I could use it, double it over and use it as the string, maybe with a bit of that ribbon coming out of the top of that big card, that big tag. That's another opportunity. A possibility there. So lots of things to play with, which is kind of cool. We'll just go through and put a little bit. I'm just using the kind of the pure black today, just to kind of that sort of dark and festery kind of idea. Okay, so that's all done. Oh, this one, do this one too. Inking. I think I've inked myself in the process as well. Never mind. Right. There we go. All inked. Awesome. Put this away. That's that done. All right, now where have I landed? I've got those. I've got, going to do this on the back of there. So let's glue that down. Then I'll get some scissors and we will do some cutting. Just going around with the glue. I'm finding that the white of this paper is actually a really bright white, which, you know, if you're doing stuff where you want bright white, it's great. But otherwise it's all a bit stark. I'm not going to worry about too much about the fact that that's ripped. I'm just going to go straight down. All right, give me some little edges to ink later on. Okay. So that's that done there. I can cut these guys out. Once that's dry, I'll put a hole through it. And then we might try some lace. But I'm also thinking I kind of want to put some of these seals. Let's have a look. What can I stick those to? Because they give some nice sort of textury feel to them. You know, you want sort of something at the end so that when it sticks up, you've got the seal at the end just to give it. That could be nice. A bit of this gold. Has it got anything there that's kind of spooky? Is it all a bit? It's all a bit nicey, isn't it? Which is okay. This gold might bring a bit of, because this is all very matte paper, so we'll do something with a bit of gold. I'm thinking some gold on the end of there. This one I'm going to keep aside and do with, and put it on another paper clip. The paper clips are kind of, they're not flat because of the paper. The paper clip inside that's all been sealed inside makes them a little bit, I don't know, stand out. So they kind of add texture even though they're not textured. I don't know if I'm making sense. That makes sense to me. All right, so keep that aside for that. Put one of these on one here. I'm thinking this one, I like the gold. That off there. Do I want it on an angle or do I want it straight? I think I'm going to go straight. There we go. If I got excited, I could actually cut that off, trim that off so it's the edges around and that gives it not a square edge. That might look cool too. So that's going to be there. And I've got these. Where did I put my crazy words? Here we go. I'm thinking maybe words on the back of these cards. Might be kind of just a little hidden something. I think the colours are okay. Maybe not the purple. That doesn't really go. But this browny colour kind of goes well. And these are both a little bit purpley. So this is the one. On the back of here, I think. And then that again adds some variableness to it. Variation. These are all matte. That's a matte paper. And this is, I don't know if you can see that, but that's quite shiny. So I'm going to put a shiny thing on a matte thing just to, you won't see it, but when you take everything out and kind of look through, it just gives it that sort of extra variation again coming through. Okay, so I've got that one there. I've got my little witchies. Got on my cards. got my witch here that's going to sit up the back. I kind of like the fact that when you put her in, her face shows through. I just like the kind of, I don't know if it's the humanizing of having faces in things. Kind of gives you a focal point. All right, I was going to do something with a key. Maybe I can put the key on lace and put that through there. Because you kind of want it to stay. You don't want it flopping about because then things are going to pull out. So maybe once I push that through the hole, I can push it through there, through the hole there, just planning, through the hole there, through here, and then double back. And that'll put my key kind of there. Is it going to cover her face too much? I guess it depends on where I put the key, doesn't it? Something to play with. All right, so I'm going to run off and get my scissors. I will be back in a minute. We'll cut this out and put a hole through there. Do I want a hole through the big card, the base of this? I could put a hole through there. But if I put a hole through here and I put a hole through there, I guess it's going to give me, maybe I can try that. Let's see. This could be a crazy idea. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay. Got my hole. Too late now, no going back, hey? All right, and it's a bit off centre, never mind. If that's the worst thing that happens to me today, I'm not too upset. Maybe some of this black ribbon. It's a bit long. Maybe I'll double it. Maybe this is where I should be attaching the key. Oh, let's have a look. Is that key too big? There's a smaller one in here. Let's have a look and see what they've sent me. That one's a bit smaller. Is it green? Oh, yeah, kind of goes. All right. Let's through the key. Oh, we want to go through the hole first, don't we? Through the hole. Is it going to show? Am I just going to have a lump? Unless I tie the key on the end. It's a possibility. I'll see what this looks like. And we can always go back and change it if we don't like it. Okay, I'll loop that through there. When I get the scissors, I'll snip that. So I've got 4 pieces there. But that kind of works to hold that key on. I'm kind of liking that. It's not going to show though when I put this card in. Do I need that card? Am I just confusing things? I don't know. Maybe I don't need it. I'll cut it up and then we'll see. Put it in and we'll see, because I can always take that off and put it elsewhere. Also, I'm finding that this ribbon's working itself loose with that keys kind of working it loose. I don't think that's going to stay. I could glue it. That would fix the problem. The other option is I could put the key on the back side as a little hidden. Often the back sides of things get a little bit ignored, so it might be fun to put that on the back as well. Lots of options. The step I really need is to cut these guys out. All right, I'm going to go and do that, and then I will be back. Okay, I've got my scissors. Let's cut this one out. I've got my nicely backed card now. Cut these guys out too. Might as well do those while I'm here. It's so much easier to cut if you've glued it down. There's a little bit of an edge so you can cut both things at the same time. Okay. This is going to be fun trying to cut here. Getting there. Sometimes these do take a little bit of thinking, particularly as I've got big scissors. My little ones have disappeared. So I'm making do with these big chunky ones. That's okay. I might call that good enough for now until my little ones turn up. Then I'll have another go. Okay, got pumpkin. Very cool. And now this cat. It's leaving quite a, because of the fur, it's going to leave quite a distance around this cat. I don't want to cut the whiskers off or anything. Okay. There we go. So my cat and pumpkin are done. My card's backed. That's all good. Have a little clean up as we go. All right. So what was the plan? Oh, put a hole in this one. Okay. So do I want to put a black ribbon? Put a black ribbon on this one and the key on this one. Because this is going to be in front of this one here. So I may need a little bit of glue to hold the key in place. That looks right. That doesn't obscure her face too much. Put that there. Now let's just do a bit of arranging because I do like to be able to see faces. Okay. So a little pumpkin witches. Little blue pumpkins. She's still peeking through. A little bit of lace. I'm thinking we're getting there, which is good. gets out the side, just gives me a bit of variety in shapes back there. Actually, I was going to cut this down, wasn't I? That'll give me a little bit more variety of shape as well. Okay. Just following the outline of this seal. And that gives me some different shape up there too. So kind of look at everything explodes out from the middle. It's kind of what you want because it sort of draws your eye in that way. And I'm thinking there's a bit of lace on here. What if I stick a bit of the thinner lace? I've got thinner lace here. Where's my thinner lace? Thinner lace. I'm sure I had thinner lace. This is a bit thick. I could cut it up the middle. Just thinking texture-wise, that's going to kind of replicate what's there, but it's going to give me a bit of something you can touch and feel, which I like the look of. Is cat going to be too big? And no, not too bad. Pull these guys out a little bit so I get two of them. Not sure about cat. Have to think about that one. What was I doing? I was going to put some lace on here. Oh, oops. And I've gone and lost my thin lace. That's a bit crazy making. Okay. Nope. Okay. Well, thicker lace it is then. Maybe I can double it over. That would be good. All right, so I only need a little bit. What I'm going to do is lots of glue. And glue on the other side. Oh no, I won't glue just yet on the other side. So I'm going to put this lace there. And I'm just going to push down and give it, maybe 30 seconds just to kind of adhere, because it can take a little while. The lace tends to lift, I found. So you kind of have to push it on. All right. So that's my lace pushed on. I'm going to cut it up this way. Just going to give myself a little bit extra on each side. And I'll trim it down once I've glued it over the other way. Come on this side. Do the same. Lots and lots of glue. The lace sort of, I don't know, it absorbs it or something. So you need a lot of glue. All right. Just going to fold that over. Just pinch it and pinch it down, particularly on the ends. Give that a good pinch. I could put paper clips on it to hold it. See, that's just lifted there already. So I'm going to add some more glue. With the lace, you can actually add glue to the top, but just be careful that you don't lift it off. So I'm not pulling it this way, I'm just up and down. Little dobs of glue all over. I love the effect, but it's not fun to do. So I'm just going to hold this kind of until the glue's absorbed by the cardboard and absorbed by the lace. And I'm going to end up with sticky fingers covered in glue, but that's okay. Things we do, hey? Okay. I think that's going to stay down now. I'm going to leave that for quite a while. I'm going to put some paper clips on it just to keep it down while it dries. And fingers crossed I don't glue the paper clips to the card. That wouldn't be good. All right, that's just going to give me the texture I want in there. So I've got a bit of texture with the key. That all brings a bit into it. This brings a bit of texture into it. The cat brings a little bit of difference. I'm not sure about that. Actually, still not sure about that. So I've got my shiny sticker on the back. Everything kind of looks like it's exploding, which is what we want. We kind of want to pull everything out from the center. Keep those eyes hidden, like the eyes there. Give a hidden kind of spooky peeking through kind of idea. Making sure too my lines don't line up. So I'm not going to put that there because then that's a solid line there. Move that. So I've got the lines just spread out a little bit. My little girly witches. Okay. Push those in a little bit more. About the same size there. That's coming on. I'm not going to use the cat. Don't need the cat. I'm going to trim my lace down a little bit. I'm a bit too nervous about taking these clips off. Still a bit sticky. But that's going to look so cool with the lace on top of there, I think, on the back. Let's take these off and just have a quick. Okay, cool. Awesome. And then that one's going to slide under. You should put it under here. And that gives me more texture there. So I'm happy with that. I think we've done as much as we need to. I was thinking about putting, I've got a hole there. I could put a bit of lace there. I don't actually think it needs it. I think I'm happy with that. I think we're done. Alrighty. Thank you for crafting along with me today and listening to my monologue. I would love to hear what you think. And I'll put the link to this kit down below beneath the video. All right, my loves, have a lovely day.